welcome to another episode of Earning the Hate. Hey, young people, a little Earning the Hate. Florida Sheriff, what's his name? Grady, Judge? I never can remember. I always mess it up. Whatever. He's calling out one of his own guys. They caught him selling drugs out of Oxycodone out of a police car or a patrol car. He's not really an officer, but he worked for him. They did a background and it screwed up. And so but he's calling it out with transparency. Says, hey, we made a mistake. We caught him. We got him off the road. It's kind of BS, but you know what? It happens and I'm sharing it. So I really like this guy.
One of our volunteers is selling Oxycodone.
I'm going to bump up the speed.
Out of the sheriff's patrol car that he's issued to drive while he volunteers. That's another shock. So we begin an undercover investigation, and we find out a volunteer sheriff's service officers are volunteers. They're the ones that with the yellow lights on the car.
So when he says they start investigation, what that means is somebody in the community said, hey, I bought drugs, or I know my friend or my cousin says he's buying drugs from this officer out of the police car, and he's riding around the community in like sheriff protection where he's not going to get pulled over, and he's transporting drugs and selling it. And they went, come on, dude, you don't expect us to believe that shit. And then they either looked into it or they were like, we might want to look into this, it might be true, or they had 2 complaints. So when he says we started an undercover investigation, that's why they started it.
And they help direct traffic crashes, they work minor crashes, they look for handicap violations, they help with school crossings.
So he's not armed and he's not having police powers, but he's still government certified, government background check, government authority, government vehicle, government lights. Cops don't pull him over. He's part of government. So some people will be like, he's not really a cop. It doesn't matter. He's still part of government under the police protections, and he's acting, I guess to help the people of the community when he's actually selling drugs out of the car.
And what we find is David Roberts. He's 69 years old.
69. Selling drugs out of a car. Rick, he's an isolated incident. Why are you just picking on him because he's bald? Whatever.
He's been a volunteer for us for 12 years.
12 years! How long has he been selling drugs? Somebody give me a guess. What? He just got caught like 2 weeks ago. This was the first time. Is that what you believe? You're an idiot.
A very good volunteer. People say that he's friendly, he's fun to be around, he's hardworking. And here's what we have discovered so far during this investigation. He gets about 90 Oxycodone with Tylenol a month for pain.
This is a very common scam. A lot of people will claim pain. They get it free because they're on welfare or they don't have enough money, whatever. So he gets this free, government paid for, taxpayer money. He says, I'm hurting. Nobody wants to be called a name for calling him a liar. So they just give him the free drugs every month. They get sent to him.
And he's gotten these for over 2 years. Now, I've got all kinds of other questions, like what doctor thinks he needs 90 oxys a month for over 2 years?
I'll tell you what, doctor. The one that's getting paid by the government every time he writes a prescription. The one that doesn't care because it's not his money. That's who.
But when he gets these 90 oxys, his pain's not that great. So he sells them. He sells them for $10 each. Well, we infiltrate him with an undercover detective, and we find out that he's being paid $10 a piece for these. So he's making $900 a month selling his prescription drugs on the street. So now we're in competition with the street drug dealers. So we said, we'll give you $12. And he goes, okay. So he says, I'll set the location for the transaction. So we go, okay. And it's the racetrack, Highway 60 in Lake Wells. So our undercover...
When he says we, yeah, I think he's going to get to it. But this is the undercover guy saying, hey, man, I need some drugs. I heard you sell it. Can I get... I'll give you $12 for as much I can get. He's not smart enough to figure out, if I'm selling them for 10 on the streets and the word's out, why would this guy be offering me 12? Why wouldn't he just find me on the streets and get 10? He didn't figure that out. We call that a clue, dummy, from your jail cell. Oh, I'm sorry. He'll get probation and released on his own recognizance so he don't appear to be a bad word, the R word.
Whoever pulls into the racetrack, dials the suspect up on the phone and said, "Hey man, I'm looking for you. Where are you?" He said, "I'm over here in the corner." Our undercover says, "You in the Popo car?" He goes, "Yeah." He won't be in it for long, but he's in it now. So we go there. He has taken the oxys out of the prescription bottle, put them in a plastic baggie, and is counting the money before he turns the drugs over to us. Why? He's wearing his uniform. Listen, folks, that makes me crazy.
It makes me crazy too. It's like, you know what the hell? It's kind of like where that freaking DA was sleeping with that meth addict, and she was just a freaking total meth head, trashy piece of shit. He's a DA in the office. He's sleeping with her, and we get a freaking warrant to go bust out a house that he knows she's at. So he tells her, "Don't be in there, sweetie. The cops are coming. I just reviewed a warrant, so you need to get out of there." So the girl not only doesn't leave, she stays in there, and when the cops get the door, she says, "I knew you were coming. My boyfriend's a DA." This is the type of person that the respectable DA that you think are all great, this is the type of person he wants to have for his girlfriend. Perfect.
Makes me so crazy, I want to pluck my eyeballs out one at a time. So we complete the deal. We allow him to drive away. We follow him, and he pulls into the substation. So we arrest him in the parking lot of the substation. And he's affable, and he's cooperative, and he signs a waiver and lets us search his house, where we find some marijuana. He says, "It's not mine, it's my nephew's. I'm just holding it for him." Well, why?
So for those that don't work in police world, every person you ever catch with drugs, it's not theirs and they're holding it for someone else. Or if it's in their pants, it's like, "These aren't my pants. I put them on this morning. I don't know whose those drugs are. I don't even know whose pants these are, but these ain't my pants." Okay, thanks.
Is it in your bedroom? I don't know. I'm just holding it for him. And then we find 2 guns, a rifle and a pistol. Well, that's okay, until we run a criminal history. Are you ready for this?
Well, wait a minute. My big thing is, he's been working for your agency for 12 years and you haven't run a criminal history? I can't remember. I watched this video a long time ago. I think he might be a felon.
You're talking about an epic system failure. He's a convicted felon.
Oh, my God.
From 52 years ago. That's right. When he was 19, he was arrested for a burglary and convicted. He goes, "I can't be a convicted felon. I've been voting all the way back to Nixon."
Oh, shocking. Shocking. Somebody that voted. "Rick, the election wasn't stolen, and dead people didn't vote, and people that weren't supposed to vote didn't vote, and our elections are really good." Yeah, that's because you're an idiot.
Do you hear what it said? So we have done an administrative look at our volunteer files, and they just missed it. They just flat missed it. Volunteers don't go through the normal HR detailed polygraph system that full-time.
So this to me isn't the end of the world, but I mean, look, I think it's really important and good that he shares this. He's not afraid and trying to say, "We're perfect. We don't do anything wrong. We need to hide our dirty laundry. We don't want the public to know this." You know, he's not standing out there saying, "You know what? I'm not trying to get you to hate our people that run the background. I'm not trying to get you to hate government. I'm not." He's just telling the freaking truth. Why is that such a bad thing? Anyway, earning the hate, even though he's not really a cop, he's working under the police authority, and it should have been caught. And the cops, again, failure of these backgrounds. We need more backgrounds for AR-15s. We need more background for guns. We need to get the guns. Government's always got all these great answers, yet they screw up every damn thing they say they're going to do, and they never do it. And yet idiots are out there, "Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's give up our guns." Freaking crazy. All right, well, then out there, earning the hate.